Hello, Chillicothe High School freshmen. My name is Josh Montgomery. I'm the Director of Technology here at the Chillicothe City School District, and it is my pleasure to get the opportunity today to talk to you about our Google Chromebook initiative. Today we're going to go through different sets of skills. We'll talk about responsibilities and work through the Google Chromebook, a device that you'll have the opportunity of using, the pleasure of getting the opportunity of using the entire time you're at the Chillicothe High School. You'll get this device today. You'll have it the same exact device as a sophomore, a junior, and a senior. Make sure you take care of this device. This device is going to be your device. We give that exact same device back to you, so we want to make sure that that device is working well, and you have the responsibility of being able to do that. I'm sure Mr. Fisher, our high school principal, will talk a lot about responsibilities and going through that area there, but I want to spend primarily most of my time today talking about skills and using the device and working through that device. I for one, am just very excited by this, primarily because there's really no other school district that does anything quite like what we're doing. I would love to be there today to work with you with these devices. We've done that before in the past, but with schedule and breaking things up, and I am also a full-time professor at Southern State Community College, I'm just not able to be there. So this is a way for me to be able to communicate with you and talk with you. If you see me in the hallway, if you want to say hi or give me a high five or anything like that, I'm happy to do so. We also have a Google Help Desk initiative where we're always looking for students to assist us with this type of endeavor as well. So, welcome to Chillicothe High School. Glad to have you here. So, one other thing I want to talk real quick about. With this Google endeavor, due to our staff with fantastic teachers here, due to Mr. Fisher, who is the high school principal of the year, I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not, but he's rather fantastic, and we've been able to present different things to different leadership summits, and Google themselves has contacted us, and they're going to host their Google Leadership Summits at the Chillicothe High School this year. Rather big event. They only do one for the state of Ohio. We're it. They believe we are the premier, the elite Google Leadership School in the state of Ohio. That's a pretty big deal. And so here in October 8th, I believe it is, they're going to be here. They're going to be visiting classrooms. We're going to invite 100 and some other school districts down and talk about really what we're doing here at the Chillicothe High School. So you're going to be a part of that. It's a very big deal. I'm very excited to get this opportunity to assist you with this and provide you this tool to be able to hopefully help you with your educational endeavors. Okay? So, with that being said, what we're going to do today is I'm going to go over certain sets of skills. Our student leaders are going to pause when I ask them to pause the video, and then you're going to demonstrate those skills to those student leaders. So, first off, what I'm going to talk about primarily is the device. This is the Google Chromebook that you're receiving today. It's got a case on it currently. The case just kind of snaps on. So the case kind of snaps on just like that. It'll already be snapped on. Now, this is mine. It doesn't have a label on it. You'll have a label on yours that has your name on it. Do not deface this. Don't put other stickers on this. Don't write markers or anything else of that nature with to clean these up, and we don't have to charge you for these if you do damage these. So take care of this. This is school property along with the Chromebook themselves, and you're responsible for making sure that they're not damaged, okay? So these are on here to help us so that when they fall or something happens that it doesn't break the device. So make sure you keep care of the case. The device itself is a Dell Chromebook 11, 8 hours of battery life with the actual device. It's a 10-inch screen. It's got 2 USB ports on the left-hand side. It's got a 16 gig solid-state drive, 4 gigs of RAM, speakers, webcam, HD port, SD card, headphones. Yeah, it can do it all. Oh, headphone port. Sorry, you're not getting headphones. Headphone port. The device itself looks a little bit like this. Make sure I can kind of get that on the screen, just like this when you flip it up. When you flip up the case, it should power on automatically. If not, I'll have to plug that in to charge that device to make sure that you get power to the actual device. Difficult to do anything with it if it doesn't have power to it, right? Has a full keyboard associated here. Touchpad. This is not a touch screen. Nothing on a touch screen. Webcam is located at the very top of the actual screen right there. So that is the device. Very powerful device. It is a web accessible device, primarily meaning that it does most of what it does by being connected to the web. So a lot of these are online applications. Now we do have offline modes. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but while I'm on the topic, I suppose I'll just mention that if you do something in a Google Chromebook, if you're in a dock environment, it's opened up in a web area and you go home and you flip the device back up, it will still be there. You could type on that, continue your work, and then when you get to an online area, you could upload that information. So that way you're not losing anything and you can continue to collaborate and work on a document. So that offline mode is accessible with these devices as well. Okay? So, student leaders, if you haven't already, please go ahead and pass out the Google Chromebooks to the freshman staff. You can pause the video now and start it back up after the devices are in the hands of the students. All right. Now the students have the devices. Hopefully you've been able to turn on the devices. Power button is located at the very top right area right here. If it doesn't come on right away, when you flip the case, it should just come on right away, so that shouldn't really be a problem for us. On the screen here, this is the only video I'm going to be talking to you. The other videos are going to be on the screen. You'll see the actual cursor moving around, so this is the only time you're going to see my face. You're welcome. You don't want to look at me the whole time anyway, so totally understand. So, but I'm going to have to navigate and kind of show you just a couple real quick things here on the screen. You probably have a hard time seeing this, but right there it says enter your email. This is where you're going to enter your email address. Now, this is an email address we provide to you. It is your first name, last name, and the year that you graduate. So you're a freshman. You're graduating 2019, right? So if I'm Josh Montgomery, I'm graduating as a freshman. It's been quite a while ago for me. It would be Josh Montgomery 19. So Jimmy Smith would be Jim Smith 19. That would be your username. Now it's not all of it. So it would be, for me, Josh Montgomery 19 at students with an S .ccsd.us. That is your email address. That's what you want to type in there. Your name, first name, last name with 19 at students.ccsd.us and press next. It'll then ask for a password. Now we reset all of your passwords. So your password is ABC12345 exclamation point. That's ABC12345 exclamation point. All right. So what I'd like for everybody to do now is log in. Make sure we get everybody logged in. If you cannot log in, please see one of my technicians. They'll be around the area. The student leader should know where they're at, or the guidance counselor should know where they're at. Also, if you can't reach somebody, please contact my secretary, Selena, extension 16190. She'll know where the guys are, but I will have people available for this event, so they should be able to help them. Okay, they'll help you going there. So at this point in time, I'd like for the student leaders to pause this video. I'm going to transition to my Chromebook. So as you're logging in, I'll be logging in as well, and we'll start going through some skills on the actual device. Okay, go ahead and pause the video. Thank you. Hello students, and welcome back. For the rest of our training series, I will be talking to you through my Google Chromebook here. I'm using a program called Snagit and recording everything I'm doing on the screen here. So that way I can simulate exactly what you're seeing on your screen. So right now you've logged in. You have a desktop up here. You have a mouse cursor moving around. I'm just going to kind of go over this interface a little bit, explain how this device works so that you have a better understanding of how to use this device. So okay, so first off, let's talk a little bit about some mouse controls. So right now you see my mouse cursor right here, and there's just one click of the mouse, right? So there's just one click to be able to launch any particular thing with the actual mouse pad. If you take two fingers and you touch at the same exact time on the actual mouse pad, you get this sub bar. It's like right-clicking. It's the secondary options. It's like right-clicking in a Windows system, a Windows interface operating system. You're able to bring up your secondary options. And so you'll see here that I have multiple other options I could do. So there'll be different points in times that you'll need to right-click on something. You're not sure how to do that. Touching the mouse pad with two fingers right-clicks. So make sure that you're aware of that and being able to right-click. So let's go ahead and work on that skill, because what I'm going to have you do first is change your wallpaper. This is kind of just a fun thing to do that everybody can do, kind of customize this device to be yours. To set our wallpaper, we use that skill. So we take 2 fingers and touch the mouse pad at one time, and we get the ability of setting a wallpaper. Just click once on Set Wallpaper. These options will come up right like this, and you can find a wallpaper to use. I'm going to click Custom. I have a picture of my family here. And there's a picture of my family. It's kind of active. I want to go something else a little less active so it's not as distracting. There we go. I'll use that one right there. So student leaders, go ahead and pause this video and make sure that everybody in class can set a wallpaper, and then start the video back. All right, so you've set a wallpaper, kind of a fun thing to do. Let's talk a little bit more about this interface. At the very bottom here, we have our shelf. This is where we have all of our apps. We'll go through this area here in a little bit. This is the launcher area where we load a lot of applications for you. Here are all the different apps we preload to the actual shelf down here. Okay, we have Google Chrome and email and Google Plus and Docs and YouTube. And I've got Snagit here just recording everything I've got going on. And then over here we have all of our settings that I'll go through here in just a little bit. We'll talk about those here in a second. But this shelf is movable. If you do your double click to get your secondary options, you can position the shelf to different places. So I can move this shelf around. So you double click and move your shelf to different places around your screen. Student leaders, go ahead and pause the video and make sure everybody can just move the shelf around the page to understand the movement of the shelf. And then start the video back. All right, so we've been able to move the shelf around. 2 relatively easy skills to master. If you struggle with those, don't worry. It'll be easier the more we get a chance to use it. It's just kind of using the cell phone for the first time. If you've never used a cell phone before, I'm assuming most of you have seen your freshmen probably have a cell phone since you've been 5 years old. At first, those were really small screens and difficult to type on, and we got better and better at it. So moving the mouse cursor around, doing these kind of things are pretty easy tasks. So I'm going to start at the bottom left here. Just click over here to the apps area. And what you're going to notice from this launcher is you have the ability of searching Google. This is a Google Chromebook, so everything's tied to the Google Chrome. It does a lot of web browser abilities and those kind of things. And so what we have here is just the recently opened items. These are my recently opened items. You'll have a different list here. And then all apps area. I want to click on the all apps area. In the all apps area, we have all the applications listed that would allow us to navigate. Now, as a Chillicothe High School student, we push applications to you based upon what your teacher's needs are. As a freshman, you get certain apps that the freshman teachers want you to have. We don't let people load apps to the Chromebook. This is not something we decided to have the students do. We want this to be an educational device. So the apps are loaded to you by your teachers, okay? So you have different apps than what I'm seeing here that I have on my screen, so don't get too worried. Or if you only have a few apps, that means your Chromebook's just now powering on and downloading apps as we go throughout the time. Now, if you don't have all the apps right now, just don't worry. They will download over the next day or so. So no worries there. As we're in the launcher area and kind of talking a little bit about these areas here, if you right-click the different areas of apps, you can move them around and do different objects with those different applications. But being able to launch an app is literally as easy as just clicking on the application and launching it. Okay. So close out of that. I'm going to go back to my launcher for a second. What I would like for you to do is be able to click on the launcher, go to all apps, and go to files and be able to look at all your files that you have located in your system. I'll talk a little bit about this. So student leaders, go ahead and pause the video, make sure everybody can get to the download section so they can see everything that's on the screen, and start the video back. All right, so now we have everything back and everybody's in the download section. This area here is our file section. This is a lot like in your computer where you're looking at all the files on your computer that you have at any points in time. Now in mine here, I have my drive, my Google Drive, my drive, and all the other information about my drive. And we'll talk about Google Drive here in a few seconds. But if you ever download something with a Google Chromebook, it's going to go in your download section right here. Okay, so if I've downloaded a couple files and so forth, and I've had some different things there, they'll show up in the download section. Okay, so that's make sure that's where they'll go, so you're aware of where they're at in case you ever try to download something. They'll go to your files location here, so just you're aware of where that's at. I'm going to close out of this and go through the rest of the settings here at the very bottom. So we've talked a little bit about the apps and how to get to all your applications. Talk about what shows up on your bar down here. What we have not talked about is the very bottom right in our settings tab. So over here at the very bottom right, we have all the settings that are for the Google Chromebook. Our accessibility settings, our Wi-Fi settings, our Bluetooth, the ability to control our volume, our screen brightness, all is located right here, along with the shutdown button as well, which we'll use to shut down the system. Let me talk a little bit about that when I'm thinking about it. If you just close the lid on the Google Chromebook, it goes to sleep. It doesn't completely turn off. When you're done using it for the day, either click on that shutdown button or hold down the power button to fully turn it off. If you do not do this, then you may run out of battery power midway through the day, and teachers will be upset, and we don't want that. We don't want upset teachers. You'll notice also I have about 8.5 hours, 8 hours and 21 minutes of battery life left. So there's quite a bit of power left on my system here when it comes to battery life. Works out really, really well. So it's pretty fantastic. I'm going to click on settings. I want you to pay attention to this because I'm going to have you duplicate this what I'm doing here. Settings here. And in here's all the different settings we have for our device. You can go through and kind of change different things in here. I'm going to click on show advanced setting. And you may notice that my mouse cursor is kind of big because I've got this show large mouse cursor turned on. See what happened right there? And when you're doing a Chromebook, instantly happens. So what I'd like everybody to do is just navigate through the settings area, go to settings, click on the show advanced settings at the very bottom left, and be able to increase your mouse cursor size and then turn it back off again, just to be able to navigate through the settings area. This is also where you can put your picture in here as well. And there's just multiple options in the settings area that you can just kind of look at and play with a little bit. So student leaders, go ahead and pause the video and make sure everybody can change their mouse cursor size. All right, now that we've had the opportunity to kind of look a little bit in our settings area, talk a little bit about what's going on in our settings over here at the bottom right corner, let's talk a little bit about the keyboard. We've navigated, we've got some navigation skills down, we've done a few things in navigation. Now the keyboard is a little bit different. And the one thing you'll notice here is there's no, what's not here? There's no caps lock key here. So there's all different kinds of things that you could do with the keyboard to be able to turn the caps lock key on. But if you hold down the Alt key and hit search, which looks like a little magnifying glass on your keyboard, the Alt key is the ALT key. If you hold down Alt and hit the search key, you could turn on caps lock. You see it right there, kind of comes at the top right. Caps lock gets turned on and off. Student leaders, go ahead and pause the video and make sure everybody can accomplish this skill. All right, everybody's been able to turn the caps lock key, pretty basic ability, but I got a lot of questions about that, so I'll make sure I covered that. All the other keyboard commands that you're normally used to using, like Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste and Control-P to print and whatnot, those are all available on the keyboard as an option for the Dell Chromebook. However, if you ever get confused, you ever get lost, and you need to be able to bring up the keyboard settings, hold down Control, Alt, and hit the question mark, and you're going to get this screen show about the keyboard. You're like, what the heck is this? This is the actual keyboard itself, and if you hold down any key, it's going to show you what the other key would be to correspond to that command. So if I hold down the Control key, it shows that if I hit C, it'll copy. If I hold down the Alt key, it'll show me that if I hit E, it'll show the Chrome menu. If I hit Control Alt at the same time, it'll show me some of the other commands and the keys. This is a keyboard shortcut area, so that if you forget how to turn caps lock key on, this will assist you with finding out how to do that. You can hit escape to get out of that, but I'd like for you to bring that command up and be able to show the student leaders that you could do that. So student leaders, go ahead and pause the video and have everyone show you how they can bring up the keyboard shortcut commands by hitting Control, Alt, question mark. All right, now that we have mastered some of the keyboard commands and understand what that is, we now can go through some of the Google Chrome areas that you will use in the actual class. So I'm going to explain some of the basics of a couple different areas. And we normally spend hours working with teachers over these different skills, so I don't want to do too much and go through too many things and take up too much time and have you fall asleep listening to me. But I do have some things I definitely want to show you. All right, so in a Chromebook, in a Google environment, we're going to use Google Drive a lot. Google Drive is an online area you save all your files to. Your documents, your presentations, videos, whatever you want to do, it saves that area and that follows around with you. While I'm talking about this, also be aware you can log into any Google Chrome browser with your username and password. So if you want to use your PC at home or your Mac at home that has a larger screen, you can just go to Google Chrome, sign in with your account, click on the apps area, and you'll be able to get the Google Drive and be able to edit any of your files on a larger monitor with a keyboard and mouse if that is more beneficial to you. Don't have to, but it's just an option available to you. So if you go to All Apps, click on the launcher and go to All Apps, and click on Google Drive. Google Drive will be all of the drive information that we have available to us to save files and open files and share files and collaborate with different individuals. As you can see, I have a lot of files in here. I do quite a bit with my Google Drive, and I continue to transition to using quite a bit with my Google Drive. So in the Google Drive area, we have a breakdown of different folders and different options available to us in this location here. Next to my drive, we have different folders that I've created. If it has a little person inside of the folder, it means it's shared, by the way. And we have all of the other options. This folder here shows all the people that are sharing with me, shows my photos, recent documents. Star just means something that I have tagged and stuff that I've deleted in my trash can. Okay? So what I'd like for everyone to do is to go to the launcher, click on Google Drive, go to Apps, Google Drive, and be able to come in here and click New Folder. And type in Freshman Orientation. And what you'll notice is then underneath my drive, you'll have a folder called Freshman Orientation. This will be a folder that we're going to create some documents in the day and be able to kind of do a few different things with that. Student leaders, if you go ahead and pause the video and make sure everyone can create their folder in Google Drive, and then restart the video. All right, now that we have created a folder and everybody has that folder open, we're going to put some documents in here for the first time. Now, you'll get different folders from teachers when they share folders to you that will show up in your My Drive or your was shared with me and be able to collaborate with your teachers. One of the great things about Google Docs and a Google Chromebook is it's live collaboration. And what that means is when someone shares a file with you and you're able to type on that document, it happens at the same time. And the collaboration and the ability to share information back and forth works really, really, really well. So what we're going to do now is go through creating a Google Doc. So in my freshman orientation, I'm going to have that clicked, and I'm going to click New. And in New, I'm just going to kind of go over a few things here. You have a couple options. We just created our first folder. You have the ability of uploading files, such as PDF documents or Word documents. So you can upload those to your Google Doc, to your Google Drive, and then have them in your Drive area for you to collaborate with. You also can upload whole folders as well. Here's our ability to create a Google Doc, which is like Microsoft Word. It's a word processor. Google Sheets, which is like Microsoft Excel, that is your spreadsheet program. And Google Slides, which is your PowerPoint. It's your ability to create presentations. Underneath More is our ability to create forms, drawings, and other apps that we have available to us. So many options. So what we're going to be doing a lot in class is typing documents. We do a lot of typing documents, right? So I want you to click on Google Docs. And it's going to create a doc area here. So student leaders, I'd like for the students to have that selected, click New, and click Google Docs to have an open Google document for me so we can work through a couple things together. So make sure everybody has a Google Doc open. Pause the video and start it back once that is completed. All right, everybody has a Google Doc open. I'm going to kind of go through a few settings here to make sure we're all on the same page. All right, so at the very top you'll notice this says Untitled Document. You can click on this and give this a type first here. Name it anything that you would like, the name of the actual document. One real interesting thing is there's no save button in this. It kind of really messes people up the first time they start working on a Google environment. There's no save. It auto-saves all the time. So you don't have to worry. You can close it down if you start typing some information, and it'll automatically save. It's always saving as you type. It works out really well. And if you've ever used a computer and done Facebook or anything else of the nature, you're probably used to typing a little bit and understanding some of these abilities. So I don't want to go through absolutely everything with you. There's a lot of options here. Remember, though, if you do have a Google Doc open like this, and you're typing in it and doing different things with it, you can close down the screen, take it home, bring it back up, and you should be able to type in this again even without having internet connection, because this is an offline mode in the Google Doc area. So that's important to be aware of. I know that's something Mr. Fisher likes to stress, because we understand that everyone's not going to have wireless connection at all times. This is still a really nice feature to be able to still work on your documents and so forth. So, hello class, I just typed something in there right like that, just to show you how this is an area to type information into. All the basics, bolding and moving text around is all located right here in this little bar. You can look through file and edit, insert pictures, change your formatting and underlining. There's a lot of options here. Add-ons really neat. We can add on calculators and other add-ons. Really kind of a neat option that's kind of unique to a Chromebook environment. So that's really a pretty fantastic thing to be able to do those kind of things. But we have other videos to show you how the Google Docs area really works. So I'm not going to do everything in here. What I would like for you to do is go through the process of collaboration and sharing. I think this is a very powerful tool. So student leaders, I'd like for you to partner some people up, and then we're going to share a document. Now we only need to share one document, only one document at a time. So we're going to share this document with one person right next to them. Okay? To share a document, we click on share. Only one person has to do this in a team, so only one person shares to the other member. So if I'm sharing with Tyler, who's sitting over next to me, I would type in his name. There's Tyler Heisel right there. He's one of my students, or one of my technicians. I would click on his name and let him know that he could edit, and I would send this to him, so giving him the ability to edit this document. It's now shared with him. For Tyler to access this document so that he can collaborate with me and type at the exact same time, he would notice if he goes back to his drive, underneath shared with me, it would be a document right here for him to be able to click on and collaborate with me. So, class, student leaders, what I'd like for everyone to do is partner up and be able to share a document with each other so they can collaborate together. So go ahead and pause this video and start it back up once everyone's been able to do that. Fun, right? Fun tool to be able to do that. And I love how when you type, you're able to see text at the same point in time and everyone's able to collaborate together. Hopefully that was not too difficult for you to do. Normally it takes a little bit of refreshing. If you have a lot of people doing it at one time, then that's definitely something that is fun to do. Okay? All right, so make sure I covered that. Oh, well, as I'm talking right now, Mr. Tyler Heisel is jumping on the screen here. He's across the way from me here a little bit. I'm recording this, Mr. Heisel, so if you want to say hello, freshman class, that'd be fantastic. So that's Mr. Heisel typing on the screen right now. So the power of sharing is obviously very, very powerful and is a pretty great tool. As you're sharing, the one thing that's really great to be able to know as you're sharing documents and collaborating with a lot of different people, you can look at the revision history of a document. So if I click on File and see Revision History, you'll be able to notice if you're collaborating with people at what points in time different people did what. This is a very nice tool in a Google Doc so that if you're collaborating with other students, you can see who had done what work at different points in time. So this is obviously very, very important. So, all right. So now that we have some basics down on some of the Google Docs sharing capabilities, I want you to just do a couple other things in here with your while you're sharing that document with your other students. And so what I'd like to do now is just insert a few things. So let's insert an image. This is always fun to do. We go up to Insert, click on Image, and you can upload an image or take a snapshot or albums. I'm just going to do a search, and I'm just going to look for football. Football's coming up, getting close. Click on a football and hit Select. And now a football has been added to my document. And I have the ability of resizing this football. And moving different things around. So student leaders, go ahead and pause this video and make sure everybody can insert an image. All right, we've inserted an image. We've had the opportunity of working a little bit in Google Docs, probably playing around with that a little bit while I've been talking, which is fantastic. The next thing we're going to do is work inside of our Gmail environment. So Gmail is our email program to be able to email and collaborate with your teachers and other students. So I'm just going to kind of exit out of this area here. I'm going to exit out of this as well, just to kind of show you a couple of things. This little envelope down here at the very bottom is our Gmail. If I click on this, it'll open up my Gmail interface. You also have the ability in any web browser of clicking on Gmail at the very top right here. That's the mail checker, but it'll open up as well. Just right like that. It'll open up your email. And this is the email environment that allows you to do a multitude of different things. So in this, we have the ability of composing messages and being able to email different people. All of your email will show up in here. To email someone, all you have to do is click Compose. And in Tool, you'll be able to type in someone's email address, a subject, and be able to send it. This area here shows all of the email that you have coming into you that you're able to read in your inbox. And very similar to the Google Drive, you have a start area where you star different areas, and it'll show up in that starred location over here. It's kind of a way of just marking something to be looked at later. Your sent messages, your drafts, people in your circles, and if you have the ability to FaceTime people, basically it's a Google Hangout video call that you could do as well. So all those are capabilities. But most people have used email at one point in time. If you haven't, it's a pretty basic interface to be able to collaborate with different people. So let's do something kind of fun. Let's email your high school principal. He hates when I do this, so I love doing this. So if you just type in jeff.fisher at students.ccsd.us and say something nice to him, because he will get this. Hello, Mr. Fisher, in the subject line. Really love my new Chromebook. Whatever you want to say. Once you do this, you can then click Send. You have the ability of also formatting options and attaching files, attaching a Google Drive item. Request money, and probably don't want to request money from Mr. Fisher. Insert a photo, insert links, or do some emoticon options here. How about a big smiley face? Oh, no, I don't do that one. Okay, let's do something. I'll do a smiley face. There we go. All right. And then having the ability to click Send and be able to send him a message. You also can send it to our superintendent, John Saxon, as well. It would be a lot of fun. So click Send, and then they will instantly receive that message from a email environment. So that is the Gmail interface. A lot of other settings here. Don't have a lot of time to go over everything, but one thing I've been doing, and I probably didn't explain very well, is at the very top of this interface is a tabbed area. You can click on New Tabs to create multiple tabs, to create other web browser sections, other sessions. So when I click on each of these areas here, you can create new browser windows, which is always great. Student leaders, I'd like for you to go ahead and pause the video and have our students compose a new message to either John Saxon or Jeff Fisher by clicking Compose, typing in their email address. If they start typing in their name, it should just pop up. john.saxton or jeff.fisher at students.ccsd.us, and send them a nice message thanking them for just this kind of opportunity. Not a lot of students get this kind of opportunity to use a device like this throughout their school day. And then just start the video back up when you're done. All right, everybody's mastered that skill. We basically have one more thing I want to accomplish today before we're done. I'm going to show you where some training resources is located, and then just have you finish a quick exit survey. Okay, so first thing we need to do is just open up another tab here. Pay attention, I'm going to have the student leaders do this here in a few seconds. And we're going to go to our website, www.ccsd.us. Second, and underneath staff, we have a Chromebook initiative. This is our Chromebook initiative area. This is where we have a lot of resources and training videos for our staff, but there are some great resources for students as well. In the Chromebook initiative area, if you go to classroom resources, scroll down the bottom here, there's a teacher created content link. In here is a Google's for Education lessons. Now, we definitely can make this a little more prominent, but this Google for Education lessons section is a great site for training. Google provides an immense amount of information over all of their services here, both combination of tutorials and videos and certification tests. I highly recommend anyone who wants to learn more about this device and more about the Google services to check this out and learn more. We can't cover everything we want to do today. If we have a training session this large, it would just take forever for us to do all of this. And so this is a great resource for us to be able to go through, and you can learn more about it at your own pace. So you don't have to go that today. However, just want to make sure you're aware of it and where it's located, okay? But today I want you to do an exit form. So underneath staff in the Chromebook initiative, we'll click on Chromebooks. And we're going to click on the Freshman Orientation Google Chromebook exit form. So let me show you what this looks like. You click on this exit form. It's going to open a new form, and you're going to fill this out and submit it. Student leaders, I'm going to have you make sure everyone can do this in their class. But before I do that, you won't have to pause the video. This will be the end of the video. Just make sure everyone accomplishes this task of being able to do this. The last thing I'm just going to say is it has been a pleasure to get the opportunity to work with the Chillicothe High School staff and the students for the freshman orientation and provide a video like this. I hope everyone has learned something from this. And if you have any problems or any issues, please let us know. We look forward to having you in the Chillicothe High School, and I look forward to everyone having a successful year. Thank you.